Speaker, my question this morning is to the Premier. Good morning, Premier. I've repeatedly asked the minister responsible for the Pan Am Games for the real numbers on the Pan Am Games after painstakingly uncovering multiple budgets. Finally, last week we got somewhere. The minister admitted to ballooning costs up the $1.4 billion budget to $2.56 billion. But we know the spending doesn't stop there, Premier. What scares me is that the Liberals are cutting deals with their enablers over here to cancel investigation into the minister's lackluster management of the Pan Am Games. Speaker, when will the Premier tell us exactly what she is hiding, and will she tell it to us now?
Premier.
Mr. Speaker, I think the member opposite has demonstrated that we have provided information. We've provided the information that he has asked for. Yeah. The government doesn't set salaries for the TO 2015 employees, Mr. Speaker. That's not an agency of the government, but we have absolutely provided the information that the member opposite has asked for. What is really important, Mr. Speaker, is that we understand that the investments in the Pan Am Games are investments that are going to pay off over the long term, Mr. Speaker. There will be legacies of these games, Mr. Speaker, in the terms of affordable housing, in terms of venues, and of course, Mr. Speaker, we have to be accountable for the expenditures. But, Mr. Speaker, it would be great if the party opposite had some enthusiasm about this fantastic games and legacy that are going to be in place, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Supplementary.
Kids are going to be paying this, but we're very excited about the games. We're just not excited about your mismanagement of them. Speaker, this government is saving themselves from the scrutiny of cancelling the Pan Am investigation in General Government Committee. Ironically, the very vocal third-party Pan Am critic has sold out to make this possible. He traded Pan Am accountability for support for his union-friendly bill, which effectively cancelled this investigation. As the government continues to point out, we're just having the people's games. But just so we all know, it's also the people's money, Premier. Will the Premier stop hiding and commit today to continuing the Pan Am investigation into the accountability of the Pan Am Secretariat? Yes or no?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. And I know that the Government House Leader is going to want to speak to the discussions that are going on at the committee in the final supplementary. But what I want to say, Mr. Speaker, is that it is extremely important that the questions be asked, that we be accountable for the money that's being invested. And, Mr. Speaker, to this point, the projects are all on time and under budget, Mr. Speaker. And as the minister has said many times, it's often the capital projects that cause the problem in games like this, Mr. Speaker. That is not the case. We are seeing a very good trajectory for those projects. And we expect that as the other costs and the other investments are made, the same will hold true, Mr. Speaker. 41 countries and their athletes are going to be here, Mr. Speaker, in 2015. This is the biggest event that we have held on Ontario soil. We are enthusiastic about it. We hope that the party opposite will get on board, Mr. Speaker.
Thank you. Final supplementary.
Speaker, this government has not been accurate with the numbers since the beginning. They have not been forthcoming with any of the proper numbers for the Pan Am Games and admitted that they're going to balloon in the coming years. The Liberals do not want Pan Am Games investigated. Clearly, the NDP doesn't either. And their committee manoeuvring proves that they will go to any length to avoid accountability for the compulsive spending habits. This includes the manipulation of the vocal third-party Pan Am critic who's bought with support for his union-loving bill in exchange for cancelling the Pan Am investigation. We want successful games and respect for the hard-working families who want to.
I'm very concerned about that last statement. I'd ask you to withdraw.
Withdrawn. Premier, allow the investigation into the Pan Am management or ask the minister to step down. You choose.
What are you trying to hide? Mr. Speaker, we are trying to make this legislature work. The fact of the matter, Mr. Speaker, is the Estimates Committee and the General Government Committee are both looking into the Pan Am Games. There were literally thousands of documents that were delivered to the Estimates Committee, the first tranche that went forward. We at General Government are looking at a way that we can look at Pan Am and also look at some very important legislation, Bill 105, which will reduce taxes for businesses in this province. But the Progressive Conservative Party, Mr. Speaker, is playing games. Order. They won't allow. They are filibustering.
The member from Simcoe Grey will come to order. Thank you.
Mr. Speaker, it is a pattern. They are filibustering in committee so the taxes cannot be cut for small businesses. And the other night, Mr. Speaker, the bravery awards given out by the Lieutenant Governor of Ontario were delayed by 20 minutes because of the bell-ringing antics of the opposition, Mr. Speaker.